Welcome back to the Fantasy Brothers podcast. It's Josh. Ben is eating his dinner. We're ready to rock and
It's
roll.
a it's a homemade like ice thing. And I'm not gonna get to finish because you started the podcast. We're starting off strong. I am trying to eat my dessert.
Yeah, we can't
But
have
the
nice
show
things.
must go on. We have to put out content for you, even if it's just average content. We're gonna put it out there. And
We
I,
do the best
alas,
content,
am
Ben.
not allowed to finish my strawberry frozen ice.
Oh, man. Week 7. It's come,
Like a
it's
man.
gone. We are here to break it down. We've got the studs, the weenies, and
Obviously.
a, a bunch of trades. We got you all to send in a bunch of different trades. We're going to review them. We're going to talk about them. We're
Tell
going to
you
flame
how
you
you
for
screwed
them.
up.
Exactly.
Because you did.
Yeah. What a weeks, week 7 was good to us. There was no injuries, there was just points, and
Thank God.
we appreciate it.
I think I won the majority of my leagues again.
I love to see it.
Been on a streak of those lately, so I'm happy about it. Won all my contending teams. Won. Lost in all my rebuilding teams. So that's right where you want
That's
to be. That
great.
sweet spot.
Right. Update on the one league that Ben has been creeping up. Slowly but surely, the gap has narrowed. My team came out and reminded everybody this week. Came out and dropped 200 plus.
What
Had to
happened?
show them who was
What
boss.
happened was Kelsey and Mahomes reminded everybody.
Happens a couple times every
They
year.
combined for 80.
It's my favorite thing ever because, so just to set the scene, this is, what is this? Two flexes, super flex, full PPR.
Yeah.
Um, we've got one of our buddies, Landon. This poor dude can't catch a break.
He has. I honestly think your team, my team, and his team are like all dead even.
We probably are. So, to set the preface of this, is in 2021, he scored 185 points and lost because I scored 200. 200 points is basically one of the 5 best performances in the 3-year history of the league. So it was just a rough week to be Landon. 185 was also in the top 10 performances in the 3-year history of the league. So he goes out and has an amazing week and loses. It's just horrible.
This is not the first time he's done this against you. Like he
That's
always
what I'm
scores
saying.
like a buck
This is
80
in
on you.
this is in 2021. This happened. This week, he goes out and he scores 175.
78.
78, even worse. He goes out and he has like maybe the 12th highest point total in the history of the league. And at one point in the 4 o'clock games, I texted you. I was like, well, Landon, he wants this matchup to be over quickly because it looked rough very fast. It was
Well,
the
it
one
looked
o'clock
like
window.
going into the game that you were going to win because he had Brees Hall and Tony Pollard on bye. Those are like his only
Right.
two good running backs. So I'm like, well, he's going to lose, and he thought that too. Luckily for him, he started Kareem Hunt and Donta Foreman, who combined for 50.
Yeah, I thought I was like, we don't even need to play the
Where
four
did
o'clock
that come
games.
from?
The Sunday night game, the Monday night, it doesn't matter. I'm done. I'm just gonna mail it in. And then Mahomes and Kelsey happened, and our poor dear friend Landon goes and puts up 178 points,
Second most in the league this week.
and I had 212. I feel truly bad for him because for that to happen twice in a 3-year period to put up fantastic weeks and lose because your opponent put up a top 5 week in a 3-year history, that's just brutal. I feel terrible.
He's had bad luck every year in this league. And I truly feel bad for him. Like the year one was kind of my dark horse team, won the championship, got into the playoffs, and just went berserk. It was, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Chase's rookie year where he dropped like 50. in championship week, and that was up against Landon, and he had a really good championship in 2020. He scored like 150 points both weeks. Only problem was I scored 190 both weeks.
that was the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase explosion weeks.
And then he was a bevy of injuries last year, and now his team is, I mean, it's balling, and he's 3-4. He has the most points
can't.
against him by far.
I looked this afternoon because I was curious because he is second most points for in this league, and it's your third, and there's a decent little gap there between him at second and you at third. And it's not that you haven't put up a lot of points, it's that he's put up a lot of points. But I went and looked at the points against. He's clearing everybody by 150 points in points against.
Long story
This
short,
dude-
keep your head up, Landon.
Oh, somebody pour one out for the guy because he's just struggling.
He
That
has more
brings up-
points against than points for, and he's second in the league in points for. This is the brutality of fantasy football.
He is going to be trying so hard for a matchup against league median next year.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to change this thing up. Oh, it's brutal. It brought up another thing too that I was thinking about, and I was talking about it with somebody at work this morning. You know, you're doing the whole break room, the water cooler chat on the Tuesday
You have
morning.
a break room? Must be nice.
It is. It's real nice. So we come in and he was like, "Yeah, man. At 4:30 on Sunday, I had like a 15% chance to win my matchup," and I was like, "Well, I'm done." And then he said that he just put away his phone and was playing video games. And one of his friends was like, "Hey, have you checked your matchup recently?" He was like, "No. How am I doing?" He's like, "You've got a 55% chance to win." He was like, "Oh, wow." Well, then I woke up and checked this morning and I lost by 25. He was like, the pendulum of the sleeper projections telling you that you should or should not win is just brutal psychology. Because you're like,
I don't
I
care
can do
about
it.
those percentages. I do not. I have
You
been
almost have to
projected
throw it
like
out.
95% chance to win going into Monday night, and I've lost.
It's brutal.
And
We
I've
say it
never
every
been on
week.
the other end of it either. Of like just the massive comeback.
Yeah, no, it never happens. It happened to me this weekend, but it was at the 4 o'clock window. It wasn't really the Monday night miracle. It was just Kelsey Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh man, fantasy football.
It's beautiful.
We love it. We love it so much. It's a game of failure. It's like baseball, except that it's not.
It's
Um,
football.
except that it's football.
Josh is an
Some
idiot, and I
studs.
apologize, guys.
There were quite a few players that just showed out for us. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson off the top.
Essentially, your team that dropped
Amazing.
212. Most of these guys are here.
Yes, I did have Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. It was very wonderful to
Kelsey.
see. You would think
When you
that
have three players go for over 100 points, you're probably going to win.
Yes. Yeah, and that's not even to mention AJ Brown, who else I had on that team. Yeah, you would think that Mahomes and Lamar Jackson would sync up their stud weeks more often than they do, but it doesn't happen as often as you would think. Like usually it's one of them has a pretty good week and the other one is fine, not terrible, but okay. This was the first week that I can remember in a while when they were amazing. They were the QB1 and QB2 this week.
When it happens,
You win.
just move.
You just win.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. AJ Brown, 5 straight weeks of 125
Did you
plus
know
yards.
that he has more receiving yards than all of the Titans receivers put together? That's a real stat.
That's poetic.
Great job, Tennessee.
That's poetic. They turned let's see here. The Eagles turned a first-round pick, a third-round pick, a fifth, and a sixth into A.J. Brown and Kevin Byard. They stole the Titans' 2 best players for a first, third, and a fifth, and a
plucked them.
sixth.
I will take that. They did the real-life equivalent to I will give you Keenan Allen in a third-round pick for Justin Jefferson and like T.J. Hawkinson.
That's exactly what happened. Just brutality. Donta Foreman, we mentioned him. He couldn't stop scoring on Sunday. He didn't even play the full game either. That was the crazy part. I think he only played like three
Where did
quarters.
that come from?
Where did the Bears come from? I mean, they
Justin
sit down
Fields.
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields left. Did you notice in both of these games, no Justin Fields and no Deshaun Watson, and their offenses exploded?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It was so weird. Tyson Bagent, is that how you say his name? The
Baggins?
dude
I
who
don't
was,
know.
I don't know. He was playing D2 football this time last year. He goes out
He's
and
1-0.
he's 1-0. He's doing a lot more than Justin Fields can say right now. And it's not like he was great on the field. He just wasn't bad. Does that make even make any sense?
Yeah, I think so. It was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of summed it up. I didn't screw up. That's all you had
Yeah,
to do.
he didn't screw it up and the team came through. Travis Kelsey, we talked about it. Taylor Swift showed up. He showed up. You know,
That's all that matters.
had to remind him. Had to remind him. Jordan Addison. Wow.
It's kind of multifaceted. Jordan Addison is very, very good. We knew this, but this is like the, oh wow, he's really good. And with no Jefferson, he's great. And B, what happened to the 49ers? Like
I
I
don't know.
honestly thought they were going to slaughter the Vikings on Monday Night Football. And that's not the team that I've seen all year. I don't know what that was. There was no pass rush, which I
None.
thought Kirk Cousins was going to get murdered by Bosa and the boys. No pass rush, no secondary, and their offense outside of McCaffrey was just bleh.
How do you feel about the Vikings now for this next stretch without Jefferson? Because
They
honestly,
they are
they got
auditioning hard for him to come back.
they are. I mean, they got through the 49ers. We thought they were going to get smoked. The difference between winning that game and losing that game is enormous because
Oh
now
yeah,
their season looks wide open. They could go 5-1 over their next stretch. If they play like they did on Monday, I mean, this is a team that you get Jefferson back and you're primed to go on a run.
I mean they're have they won? They won two in a row. They didn't win the third game, right?
They beat the I think it's 3 because they beat the
Are they on a
Panthers,
three
the
and zero?
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on a 3-0. So I think they're 3-3. Does
So
that
you
sound right?
potentially can
3
get
and 4.
Justin Jefferson back in. Well, let me look at that. Is it 2 weeks you can get him back? He's eligible to come off the IR.
Yes.
They said he might miss 6, which would make sense because after that 6 week they have a bye,
Yep.
so they keep him out 6 weeks, which would put you at week 11 potentially for him to come back. But long story short is if this keeps up, he's going to come back sooner rather than later, I would think.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. I did not think they were going to win. I was like you. I thought they were going to get smacked.
We were talking about this a few weeks ago. Like, there's a realistic chance after this 4-game IR that they'll either lose all 4 of them, they go 1-3. They're 2-0 through it so far.
Yeah, doing really really well. Let's see here. Alvin Kamara had himself another billion catches.
He's not been amazing real life, but the volume is just unrealistic right now.
It's
This isn't
absurd.
normal.
I think he had 12 catches for 90 yards. You don't even need the rushing production. And honestly, he's not giving you much anyway. It's all the receiving. And
But he's
Derek
still
Carr
he's
can't
still
throw it.
carrying the ball like 15 times. So he's getting like 25, 30 touches a game.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It's bonkers. He's giving you like 40, 50 yards rushing. Everything else is just a bonus.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs. I will allow you this moment because it might not happen again.
It might not,
Soak
but I'm
it in.
happy. I finally got my redemption. I've one of my buddies. I've been. It's a competing dynasty team, but like I've lost Jefferson, I've lost Chubb. I paid a ton in the offseason to get Jameer Gibbs, and he hasn't really done it. He's like, "Are you gonna have to trade Gibbs?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Like, I need the production. I also paid way too much to get this guy. Like, I can't just take a huge loss on him.
Yeah.
Had to start him this week. It paid off. This is the kind of game that you want Jameer Gibbs in. When the Lions are leading, you want David Montgomery. But when they are getting blown out or it's going to be tight, like with the Ravens, this is Jameer Gibbs' game. He's going to get 10 targets in those games.
They got dog walked, and it was great because Jameer Gibbs ended up with 10 targets. He was efficient, scored a touchdown finally. It was just everything came together.
Yeah, I kind of stopped watching the game and was paying attention to other stuff, and then like the little notification pops up: Jameer Gibbs, 30-yard rushing touchdown. I'm like,
Yeah, I get the all caps Gibbs text.
Jameer Gibbs, finally!
I was like, there you go. Good one. You got yourself one.
We
I'm
got
proud
there.
for you. Tyreek Hill's also on the list, but at this point, I mean,
Just
11 for
assume.
88. Yeah.
We don't need to talk
whatever.
about Tyreek Hill.
No,
He's
great.
on.
Okay.
He's on a Cooper Cup pace from 2021.
He is. It's the same, which is honestly kind of wild. I hadn't really noticed that, but here we are.
Yeah.
Weanies.
Ooh. We had a lot of weenies this week. We've got more than normal here. Probably more weenies than studs.
There are.
So let's
yes.
kick it off. Jameer Gibbs was great. Jared Goff was not.
Jared
9 points.
Barf.
Jared Barf. They only had, I don't know if they had a first down until like late the second quarter.
That's awful.
It was terrible. So, Lions, y'all were kind of my darling this year. You're fading on me a little bit. You didn't look good. That was a good team you played.
You know what's going to happen? They've gotten our hopes up. Now we think they're a team that can compete, and they're going to go make it to the divisional round to just to get smacked by somebody.
Are they going to be this year's Minnesota Vikings? The Vikings are
Probably.
probably.
What if the Vikings make the playoffs and just absolutely mollywop the Lions?
To be poetic.
It would just I wouldn't know what to do. That would just be incredible.
I would like to see it. Justin Jefferson has like 400 yards in that game.
Oh,
Just something absurd.
oh.
Moving on, another quarterback. One of my absolute just darlings. He's right behind just Josh Allen. Up there with just my favorite players. Justin Herbert. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. Wasn't
How do
great.
The Chiefs' defense, I will admit, has been a little bit of a revelation this year. Their offense, while it's good, Mahomes is obviously Mahomes, Kelsey. They've kind of struggled to find rhythm with their receivers and their running game. But the defense has been incredible. I don't care. It's Justin Herbert. I expect greatness.
I will say this. The Chargers defense right now,
Oh, it's awful.
25th in points allowed. 31st out of 32 in yards allowed.
Isn't Brandon Staley a defensive coach? Isn't that his thing?
That is his thing.
Don't they pay the most salary to defense of any team in the NFL?
They do.
And they have the second worst defense in the NFL.
Their defense is horrible. Their
How do
coach
you not
is a
fire
defensive
Brandon Staley?
coach.
How do you not? He is wasting Justin Herbert's career.
Yes.
So, no question.
For absolutely no reason at all, this afternoon I went and looked at Phillip Rivers' career with the Chargers and Justin Herbert's career with the Chargers I just wanted to see, Phillip Rivers is a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't know if he'll get in or not. It's kind of like that Eli Manning thing where some people argue he should, some people argue he shouldn't. Doesn't matter. He had a really good career. 63,000 passing yards for Phillip Rivers. I went and looked at just like his season average. His prime average was essentially something in the neighborhood of like 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, and like 12 to 15 picks. That was Justin Herbert's rookie year. His season average is like 4,900 yards, 30 something touchdowns, 12 picks. So he's better than Phillip Rivers. You're about to have the Chargers organization waste 2 Hall of Fame careers. They're not going to win a Super Bowl unless they get this thing figured out. Like this is just bad. You
Yeah.
can't keep having this happen.
You've got to fire Brandon Staley like soon, and
Yesterday.
B, they have to get him some weapons. He doesn't have anything. Quentin Johnston, I'm sorry, I wasn't in on him pre-draft. I just don't think he's that guy.
He must not be. Because if it's week 7 and he hadn't done anything, he's
Mike Williams is done for the year, so like this is when you would think, like, okay, if Johnson's going to do something, it's now, and he's still not producing.
I wonder how much of it is he can't get on the field because Josh Palm was good, or because like I haven't really looked at his snap percentages and like route yards per route run and stuff. I know it's not great, so maybe that is moot and he just sucks anyway. But like, I don't know, dude. I Devontae Adams had 2 years of awful before he was good, so maybe there's that career arc. It's
Maybe.
possible. I don't know, but yeah,
I don't know.
he doesn't look great, especially when Zay Flowers, who was drafted after him, and Jordan Addison, who were drafted
Can
after
you
him,
imagine
both
if they had
look
taken
awesome.
one of those two guys?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean,
That's what they needed in the first place. You already had Quentin Johnston and Mike Williams. I get it, Mike Williams is out for the year, but you already had that. And
Yeah.
Keenan Allen is, I mean, he's getting up there in age. He's a great route runner, great receiver overall. But you needed that speedy, separation, scat back kind of receiver. And they just don't have anybody outside of Allen who's really just can get open.
Yeah, it's rough. Palmer has looked good. He had 130 against the Chiefs, but you know, the ceiling on him is limited.
Yeah. I don't expect that every week.
Right.
I digress. Justin Herbert, I need you to be better, man. I'm heavily invested in you. I need points consistently. 11 points isn't going to do it. Sam Howell,
Yikes.
Washington. I think the Cinderella story is about over with Sam Howell. It's not looking good.
He's been sacked, or no, he's on pace to be sacked 97 times.
Oh my gosh. So he won't make it through the season. Okay, good.
No.
Not good for Howell, but like that's good to know. He's not going to make it through the season.
Fire up Jacoby Brissett at some point this year.
It's gonna happen.
And it's not because Howell's been bad; it's because he will have died.
And the crowning jewel of the weekly weenies, I understand he got hurt. It's hard to put him on here. But Deshaun Watson lost me and many people fantasy matchups because he played 2 drives, went 1 for 5 with an interception, almost 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions.
And you finish with negative 1.8 points.
Yep.
I can't live like this, Deshaun. You were on our list of guys to draft because you were going in the 8th round. We thought it was really good value. We thought we were going to turn the season around. I can't do it anymore. I would love to hear your opinion. I don't know if Deshaun is droppable. I think we're getting close. But I think you can easily find a better option somewhere.
That I think is true. I think you can start Desmond Ritter and feel more comfortable about your fantasy production, which is saying a lot. Because Ritter on the field has been awful, but at least for fantasy, he's been producing a little bit. Yikes. Deshaun Watson, I don't know, dude. He's not going anywhere, so he's still going to be starting for them for the next like 5 years. But yeah,
We'll see.
I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah. It's a bad situation. All right, moving on to running backs. Josh Jacobs, 4.6 points. It's a bad offense, but I think he did he drop a touchdown this week? He had one that I heard and couldn't get his feet down or something. He's been a great receiver. Josh just needs to catch the football, man. Let's make a diamond. Let's make a diamond.
Make a time. That's all you need from the Ben Watts School of Football.
Let's make a diamond.
Just make a time.
Austin
Oh,
Eckler, 5.1 points. This is one
Beef.
you're happy. I'm happy to see it on the weenies. Nothing that I want the Austin Eckler owners to suffer. I have just suffered at the hands of Austin Eckler's before. This feels good. He had 5 points, and I wish he had less.
The
Josh
only
Kelly
thing that
is
could make this
Josh Kelly
better,
is officially startable when Eckler is healthy.
honestly, he's flexible. Yeah. But if Eckler leaves, no.
No, get him out of the lineup.
No.
If Josh
No.
Kelly's going to get a full workload, I don't want him.
Yeah.
Not at
The
all.
only thing that can make this better for you is if Taysom Hill was on the Weanies.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I should have put him on here.
Just
Raheem Mostert. I don't know what happened to the Dolphins offense, honestly. That was crazy.
I don't
Tyreek
know.
Hill got his, everybody else sucked.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's very succinct and to the point. That's exactly how it went down.
Do I see it continuing? No. They're going to be fine.
No.
The crowning jewel of the running backs for the weekly weenies, it's a big one. Bijan Robinson with 0.3 points. We had no idea that
None.
anything was wrong. It was not reported. We weren't told until halftime that he hadn't been feeling well. He had like 11 snaps, 1 carry. His only touch was on like the last drive, and he had like a 3-yard run,
Yeah.
and that was it.
I don't even know why he gave him the 3-yard run. Like at that point, just leave him on the sideline.
Arthur Smith should be fired.
He might be. If
I
the
don't care
the
that we
NFL
won the game.
They're opening an investigation because they didn't report anything. And I get it. A lot of people are frustrated about like the whole betting being in football thing, but like it is what it is.
Vegas runs this thing.
You have to just at least report if your players aren't gonna play.
Yeah, that was the thing. He knew about this coming into the game. They knew
Yes.
the morning of at least.
But there was no, questionable illness, nothing. He was just active. But they had 0 plans of playing him.
That's that is unacceptable. The league actually probably will fine the Falcons.
They most likely will. It's probably going to be a slap on the wrist, but still, it's going to be something.
Yeah, that better not happen again, Arthur. I saw, and it made me so mad that he had the audacity to defend it. He's
Arthur
like,
Smith?
well, we got it. He was in the game. He just wasn't feeling the best. He's like, we used him in the 2-minute drill.
Oh my God.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me that you stand there and defend it. We used him in a 2-minute drill because you gave him 1 carry for 3 yards, and then you took him out. And you have the audacity to defend yourself saying, no, we used him in a key situation. That's what he said. We used him in the 2-minute drill.
Stupid.
The first carry of the 2-minute drill, a 3-yard run, then you take him out. I
don't
hate Arthur Smith.
a personal
hate him.
vendetta. What would happen if you saw him in a dark alley right now?
What would happen? It depends. He is bigger than me. Do I have any sort of weaponry or reinforcements?
You've just got the old fists.
The old
No
fisticuffs?
reinforcements. It's just fisticuffs with Arthur Smith in a back alley.
I don't know. It depends. It depends how mad I am at the time. I could do a little bit of damage.
Could your righteous rage get it
It
done
could.
for you?
The fear. I'm just picturing. I'm picturing Kyle Pitts crying behind him, and I'm just just Hulk mode and just.
Oh,
I saw
I
a
would
video
pay money to
one of my
see that.
buddies sent me. That it was a video of like Arthur Smith going time out, time out, time out, time out, and the caption was when Arthur Smith realizes one of his high first-round draft picks is going to touch the ball. No, we're not going to use him. We're going to get the ball to Mac Hollins, okay?
I love so much how passionate you are about this because I'm removed. I have no Kyle Pitts, no Drake London, no Bijan. I don't experience any of this on a personal level. And it's on top of all of that, you're a Falcons fan. So
Yeah.
on Sundays, you're like, I want to win, but I don't want to win like this.
Yeah, I don't want to win. We need a coach and we need a quarterback, and we're not going to get either.
No. Your worst nightmare has come true already. Y'all are
Yeah.
too good to get a
We are
good
going to
quarterback.
have the 16th pick in the draft. We're going to keep Arthur Smith because he got us to this place.
You're probably going to draft another tight end.
We go out there, we trade up to get Brock Bowers.
Y'all would do something
I
like
would
that.
kill myself.
Oh, jeez. All
All right,
right,
moving
more
on.
weenies.
Another ex-Falcon, Calvin Ridley, still on the list.
Yippee!
We used to say we were as productive as Calvin Ridley as your fantasy teams. We weren't quite, but not far off.
What
Calvin
does he
Ridley
have, 1
gave you
point?
5 yards this week.
I could get 5 yards.
You throw me the ball a few times. If the defender gives me enough space, I can catch one.
Yeah, I'll catch one for
Yeah.
5 yards. All you got to do is just catch it and
Like
dive forward.
a quick slant. Like that's all I need. The defenders give me like a 10-yard cushion, quick slant, boom.
Got it. Money in the bank.
Keenan Allen, tied to Justin Herbert's poor production. I guess they probably keyed on him just
Yeah.
because he's the only thing they got. I mean, you worried about Quentin Johnston? I'm not.
They said Josh Palmer can have 130 yards. We don't care. And sure enough, they scored 17 points, and Josh Palmer had 133 yards.
Yep, it's terrible. Devonta Smith. It is AJ Brown season. There's no more. To start the season, it was there's going to be weeks, and we all knew AJ Brown was better. Like I didn't question that. Nobody questioned that, but we thought, Smith. There's going to be weeks where Smith dominates and AJ Brown is kind of in the background, and then obviously AJ Brown will dominate. It's just AJ Brown, like for the past 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Nobody else is. I mean, Dallas Goedert's had a couple good games here lately, which kind of happy to see that. But it's AJ Brown and nobody else right now.
Yeah, he's getting 30% of the targets and 100 yards every single week.
And poor Devonta Smith is suffering. I am sorry.
I feel bad for him, but
He's winning games. I don't feel that bad for him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cooper Kupp. This is not a name you expect to see on this list, but here he is.
This is his lowest point output in 3 years.
He didn't get hurt mid-game. Cooper Kupp just had a bad game.
I cannot
and
say...
And Puka had a great game.
Puka was incredible. I cannot tell you the last time Cooper Kupp just had a bad game. I cannot remember one.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because I bought into the Cooper Kupp experience. Experienced it past couple weeks. And, I won in the league where I've got him. And I was feeling good. And I won by like 20 points. But coming out of that, I was expecting to be up just a ridiculous amount of points after Cooper Kupp plays. And I wasn't.
Yeah, you just expect, even on the bad weeks, he still gives you like 13, 14. I mean, he's just never bad, ever.
Yeah.
So this is weird.
I do not expect it to continue, but Cooper Kupp, this is your first warning. You're on the weekly weenies. Finishing out quick, Amari Cooper, 3.2 points. No Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker. Yeah, they still dropped 40 points. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. Amari Cooper, I'm sorry. Marquise Brown, I'm done with the Josh Dobbs experience. I don't know about you. I'm over it. I'm ready for Kyler to come back.
Yep.
It was fun while it lasted, but it's over.
Agreed. Kyler, any day, anytime.
Please.
You got it.
Please, we are waiting. And lastly, you knew he was going to be on here. It's Kyle Pitts. He had a big catch to end the game. I was very happy for him.
He also had that one catch that was on a slant, and he reached way behind him and caught it.
Yeah, Arthur Smith saw that and said, "Let's not get this guy the ball again."
He was like,
he's too good.
Smith.
He is too good. We can't use him. Giving him the ball, the defenses, they would expect that. They would see it coming. You can't do it.
You got to sneak up on him.
God. All right, I shouldn't talk about Arthur Smith anymore before somebody sends this to the police and I get charged.
It's bad for your health.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a few trades here. I figured we would just do a handful. We dropped a poll on Instagram. Let's see here. I'm just gonna cherry pick one. A lot of these are redraft trades.
Yeah,
So
most of these are redraft.
yeah. All right, here we go. Somebody said that they got ETN and Olave for Kyron Williams and Brandon Ayuk.
Oh my gosh. Well
That's a
done,
great
sir.
haul. Great
Well
haul.
done.
I will say, I mean, Kyron and Ayuk, that's not bad. Like Kyron, when he's played, obviously he's been a top 5 running back, and Ayuk has been really good. He's he's the number one receiver for the 49ers. So, but yeah, ETN is he's been incredible, and Olave, we like him a lot. So I would prefer the ETN Olave side personally.
Yeah, ETN. He's a top 3 running back in fantasy right now for me. I don't know where you are, but
Yeah, he's third for me right now. Yeah.
I would have I would have CMC obviously. Oh my gosh, who do I put ahead of him? Is he 2? He's 2.
He might be too.
He's 2.
I'm
Okay.
trying to think like
I was like
would I
Eckler.
have
Well,
him
no.
no, no.
Bijan? No.
No. I think I would rather have Brees.
I don't know.
I would rather so I would rather go ETN than Brees. But like Brees might be 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Running back is just like d- a wasteland right now.
All right, let's go a different one. Gave Gabe Davis for Jameer Gibbs 2 weeks ago in redraft. I would
Oh
have done
my
that 2 weeks
word.
ago, even when Gibbs was sucking.
Yeah.
Like Gabe Davis, he will give you some big weeks, but then he will do like he did this past week and have 1 catch.
I mean, the Gabe Davis experience is completely wrapped up in the past 4 weeks where he scored a touchdown, I think it was 3 weeks in a row, and then this past weekend he had 1 catch and just didn't get off the bus.
Yeah, I have Gabe Davis on like just a couple like random teams. One of my main leagues, like I'm never going to start him ever.
That's wild.
If there's a world where I have to start Gabe Davis, I'm tearing the team down. Like
Here's a dynasty trade. Somebody went and acquired Stephon Diggs for Jaden Reed and the 2024 and 2025 first, which he says are hopefully the 11th and 12, 11/12 picks. So 2 late firsts and Jaden Reed for Stephon Diggs.
I'd do that. If you're contending, I'd do it.
Yeah,
It's harder
that's
to project the 2025 first. Just it is 2 years out. A lot can happen. I mean, I've seen teams that I projected to be some of the worst in the league that are top 3 right now in league. So I'm like, it
right.
is tough to do that, but you can project this year's at least. And look, if I'm trying to win a championship, I'll pay a late first and screw it. What if that first is the 105 next year? Like if you win a championship with Stephon Diggs, it's worth it.
That is really at the end of the day. I think I see a lot of teams that aren't willing to get after it to win a championship. And I know that there's a balance you want to play where you don't want to mortgage your entire future for one championship. I get that. You still want to have a window open for a couple years after that. But at the same time, you're not playing to be good in 3 years. You're playing to win the championship this year. So I, I would be the kind of guy that's just like, you know what? We're going all in. We're getting after it. We're trying to get a championship this year. And then you just keep doing that year over year, and you find that you end up winning a whole lot more than you think you would.
Oh yeah.
Here's another redraft one. Chris Olave and Zay Flowers for Amon Ra in redraft.
Chris Olave and Zay Flowers for Amon Ra. That was close.
That's one I would do.
You would trade Chris Olave and Zay Flowers?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I would too. It is closer. Um, because Zay Flowers has been much better than at least I thought he would be.
Yep.
And we love Olave, but I do think at least right now Amon Ra's in a tier above Olave, at least for redraft. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm good with that.
And two, with redraft, I have started looking at redraft more like what is the value of a roster spot, and by that I mean I want to go get more studs. So doing 2-for-1 trades for me in redraft is green flags everywhere. Like that's great. I want to do 2-for-1s because if you only got 5 players on your bench, depth is kind of a figment of your imagination. Like depth doesn't really exist. Everybody's going to have weeks when they get killed by the bye week monster. So on the weeks that you have your team, aka the playoffs, have the better team.
Yeah.
So I'm in on that. I like that one.
Chase for Henry. No. Not in
Oh,
redraft, not in dynasty. No. No, 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 no.
that's that's Jamar Chase every which way you slice
Yeah.
it. If
If it
it's plus 2.5 PPR for running backs, it's Jamar
no,
Chase.
Jamar Chase. Like
Y- yeah,
in a
Chase,
standard
Chase,
league,
and
it
Chase.
is closer.
It's still Chase.
It's still Chase though. Jamar Chase is in fact that guy.
He is. Um, we have one that is giving up Brees Hall and Josh Downs, and they're getting Bijan and Garrett Wilson in redraft.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
I would do that though.
I
I
think I
think
would
I
too.
think Bijan and Brees is close in my mind, but Garrett Wilson is in a different league than Josh Downs.
I agree. I would
Even with Zach
prefer
Wilson, he's better.
I'd prefer Brees Hall over Bijan right now, but I agree that there's a conversation there. But yeah, Garrett
But
Wilson
like I
is
said, I agree with you. I think, but it's close.
yeah, it's close. I don't think it's a huge difference.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah,
That's why the get with the Wilson Downs gap is so much different though.
that's a pretty decent gap for me. Yeah, Downs has been good though. I will say that, but a
Yeah,
big
he's
gap.
been. I'll give you that.
He has been good.
Let's find another good one.
How about George Pickens and Jaleel McLaughlin for Terry McLaurin and Tajay Spears?
Uh,
That one's tough. It's very lateral.
yeah, that doesn't feel like you're not moving big pieces here. It's essentially Gibbs or essentially McLaurin for Pickens. And
I
the
mean,
other, I
the
mean,
McLaughlin
they're
Spears.
both backup running backs.
Yeah, I think with Spears, he has a much better chance to take over the starting job, or at least the primary fantasy running back job in that backfield. I think Derrick Henry could get traded at the deadline.
That would be crazy. They
So
are selling to rebuild, obviously with the Kevin Byard trade. So
yeah, if that were the case, I would much prefer Spears to McLaughlin because Spears has been really, really good on limited work. Pickens and McLaurin is whichever one you want. I won't fault anybody other
I
which
might
way
go
on that one.
McLaurin, especially in more of a PPR league, because he does get more
Sure.
targets. But
Yeah.
Pickens has a higher ceiling right now.
Yeah. Let's do a couple more.
Trying to find a good one. Oh, here we go. Traded Calvin Ridley and Jameer Gibbs. Received Cooper Cup. I would
Wow.
take Cup.
I would that's redraft, right?
I would take Cup. Yeah, redraft.
Yes. Cooper Cup
It
for sure.
is. I think there's a conversation to be had in Dynasty for that one. I mean, obviously, I still view Gibbs as, for Dynasty purposes, probably top five, maybe more for contending teams rather for rebuilding teams rather than contending teams. But if you are trying to win a championship, Cooper Cup's going to get you there way more likely than Ridley and Gibbs will.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know that Ridley might be a pumpkin. I mean, he's just not been good. Not been good at all. We've seen the
Yeah,
ceiling,
and
but it's just not happening week in and week out.
that offense just isn't clicking right now.
It's not.
Gave
Uh,
Laporta, Ramondre, and Olave for Jamar Chase, Hunter Henry, and Alexander Madison. Chase.
Porta, Ramondre, and Olave for Chase, Hunter Henry, and Madison.
Chase
Yeah,
for me.
that's Jamar Chase.
Yeah. And I I love Laporta.
Yeah. And I like Olave. And honestly, Ramondre's not awful. He hadn't been what we thought he would be, but he's not awful. Hunter
But you're getting
Henry
the best
is,
player in the deal.
yeah. I tend to just really like getting the best player in the deal. As long as it's not a stupid overpay, kind of just like getting the best player.
Go get the guy.
Let's do one more.
Pick a good
Um,
one.
I'm going to see if I can find a good one here. They said that they traded McCole Hardman for Goddard and then traded Ramondre Stevenson for Justin Jefferson.
Good job.
Bravo! Turned McCole
You got
Hardman
him.
and Ramondre into Dallas Goddard and Justin Jefferson.
You got him.
I love that. I love a good fleece. Oh man.
You have
Any of
pulled
these
off a
other
few.
ones? I have pulled off a few. A
I
good
saw
fleece
I
just
saw
makes you feel
one
great.
that I really liked. Bijan and Diggs for Eckler and Evans and redraft. Definitely give me Bijan and Diggs. That's not close. Uh, there was one I saw. You guys did great, by the way, sending all these in. Thanks for the help. You gave us a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, these were great.
Where is it? 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 For Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Waddle, and Amari Cooper and Downs redraft.
Whoa. Okay, say that one again. Eckler
So
and Pollard.
Austin Eckler and Tony Pollard for Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper, and Josh Downs.
Shoosh.
You're giving redraft. You're giving up the two best players,
Yeah, but I
but you
want the
got a
package.
lineup of startable guys for it.
Yeah, and Kenneth Walker has been very good. Probably, I mean, Kenneth Walker and Pollard have been about the same thing. I would prefer Pollard, generally speaking, and Pollard has been in some weird games where, like, the game script just goes off the rails. And there's just not a whole lot for fantasy that's going to be happening in that game. It's happened a couple times. But, like, the difference between Eckler and Pollard and Walker and Swift right now is not enormous, I don't think, at least for redraft. And then you
Swift's been
just
a
get,
revelation in that Eagles offense.
yeah, and you just get to add in Waddle, Cooper, and Downs for free on top of it. I
Yeah,
like that.
Waddle. That's not a throw in, guys. Like
That's
that's
a
a
good
bona
guy. That's
fide
a good
like high
player.
end wide receiver too.
Yeah, Cooper. Cooper's not going to be great without Deshaun Watson playing, but
He's
Josh Downs has been
still
really good
like
too.
if you got to
So
flex Amari Cooper, like that's still fine though. Like
that's okay.
not in a
But
horrible situation.
I'm not sure that even if you took Cooper and Downs out, I wouldn't take Walker, Swift, and Waddle over Eckler and Pollard right now.
Yeah, I think the dip in production at running back is negligible, and you get a very startable wide receiver too.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
Made
good
me
job.
think though. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Great way to end. That'll do it for this episode. We'll see you later this week when we're doing our starts of the week, getting ready for week 8. We are almost halfway through the fantasy season,
I
y'all.
don't like that.
That is wild.
We are too far in. We need to go
Oh, I
back to the
love it.
start. It's too much. I don't
It's
want
been
it to
so
go.
much fun. We'll see you later this week.
Peace.